horses were ever getting out of a trot, and most of them were just walking. So it's difficult to do. We also found in this study no effect of supplementary feed. Very few were being fed a lot, but what we did find is they're out on this rich grass. And this grass, many of our grass in the UK, is actually designed for the high-yielding milk cow. And then we put a pony that we've heard is designed on low energy, highly fibrous material. And effectively, as we'll hear later, we are providing a 250 kilo pony with the same amount of energy as a 550 kilo racehorse in full racehorse training. It isn't surprising that they're going to put on weight. And then, of course, if you then on top of that give them extra calorie providing feed, we're just in a pretty difficult situation. So some work that we did with Alex Dugdale and Caroline Argo, again from the Workforce Welfare, is that we looked at when we took groups of ponies, they were either obese to begin with, or they were low body weight or moderate body weight, and we allowed them to eat as much as they liked. It was scary, as much as they liked, and a short chop feed. And we did this because season, we did it in the summer and we did it in the winter. Now I think you can see, these animals, in fact, they were 250 kilo ponies, they were putting on a kilo a day. That's the same as a fast-growing thoroughbred foal. But look at the winter, it wasn't as much, but it's still quite high. Now why was this? We looked at their appetite, and interestingly, the obese animals, because the thin and moderates reacted the same, which is why we grouped them, the obese animals ate what the textbooks say horses and ponies eat, around 2% body weight. Unfortunately, ponies don't read textbooks, and they were eating up to 5% of their body weight at the time. Now in the winter, their appetite was less, but they still were putting on a lot of weight. They become very efficient in the winter at converting feed. The other point about that study is, I'm afraid to say, that the fat ponies actually need less energy to stay fat. So if you're going to get them to lose weight, unfortunately, we need to restrict their energy intake. So that was when they were being fed a highly palatable short chop fibre. What about when they're out on grass? And this study was a study that we did where again the ponies were allowed to have as much of not a particularly good hay in the stable as they liked, but they were turned down for 3 hours a day. Now by week 5 and definitely by week 6, they were eating up to 40% of their daily dry matter intake in 3 hours.
Yeah.
We've also shown that they can eat again similar amounts, up to 5% of their body weight as dry matter in a day, and then we put them on lush grass. But for all of you who are sitting there and thinking, well, I'm not overweight, I would like there's a little caution here. There is a normal weight obese syndrome in humans, where nice thin people are actually internally fat. And we now suspect that this is probably true in horses, particularly older horses and PPID horses, but we need more research to prove it. But we call it these toffees, the thin on the outside and fat on the inside. And this becomes important when we come later. So why are our animals obese? Well, actually it's likely to be multifactorial. Definitely overfeeding and lack of physical activity are going to be contributing factors. One problem is that people are less experienced. They think that going out for a trot is hard work. So perceived versus actual workload, we confine a lot of our animals. There is some work we've done looking at feed dominance, whether it's a cause or an effect on obesity, we don't know. I talked about pasture, and then of course genetics, and that is a major component. The other problem is us, humans. This may be, we think, a natural situation that ponies are a more rough pasture, they will gain weight in the summer, and then they will naturally lose weight in the winter. They need to gain weight because of lactation, managing the foal, surviving that winter. What do? we put them on these high quality grasses, we add high quality feedstuffs, and we put them under shelter, and we put rugs on them. But actually all that is doing is compounding this weight gain. So we have a problem with obesity, but is it important? Is it something that we should be worried about? Well, it does have known, shown effects of ultra reproduction. It also reduces performance, it puts increased weight on those joints. It actually, importantly, especially in older horses, reduces their immunity, their ability to deal with a disease. And then we have its link with insulin resistance, and then that link with laminitis. But it is really important that I get the message across that you can be lean and insulin resistant. You can be obese and not insulin resistant. And in fact, so much that now, potentially in the new definition of the equine metabolic syndrome, obesity will not be a key component. That does not matter because obesity is still in itself a welfare concern for other reasons. What about its role in laminitis? This is a suggestion I had many years ago that there is a threshold at which any animal can get laminitis if you overload it with the trigger factors. Then that threshold can be reduced, and it can be reduced by a number of things, including obesity and insulin dysregulation. But it may also be gut flora and other things, so that it's easier for these animals to get laminitis. So what can we do about it? My number one tip is avoid being obese in the first place. It is so much easier to try and do that than try and manage an obese pony or horse. And it's really difficult to do this, bashing people around on the head. If you've got a pony that naturally, evolutionarily wants to put on weight, it's very difficult. So I think we all have a thing. We should all know how to monitor body condition. We should understand a body condition score. We need to know how to use a tape. And we need to be realistic about how much exercise our animals do. If they are obese, what do we have to do? First of all, the owner or carer has to recognise they're obese. If they don't recognise they're obese, you can't help them. Because it is tough. It is tough to get them to lose weight. Then we have to really understand what they're currently being fed, what they can do, exercise, and what they're currently doing, and often a vet is needed here to help. And you need to make a plan, and then you must monitor the efficacy of that plan, and then the rest of that animal, because they're prone to weight gain. So I'm not going to go through, because it will depend on why they're obese to begin with. So for some animals, they don't need to go on a massive weight reduction diet. They just need to be sensible about what they're currently feeding. If they're overfeeding them excess calorie giving food, take it away. If they're on a very rich hay, go to a lower quality, higher fibre hay. So you basically are looking at complementary feed, forage, and their exercise. So for some animals, just doing these simple things can make that difference. For others, as we come later, we have to do a very structured plan. If I just want to talk about grazing muzzles, because we've done a fair amount of work looking about their efficacy, and yes, they can reduce intake by up to 80%. But this study showed us something that was worrying. Not only can those animals eat 40% in of their dry matter daily intake in 3 hours, but they can eat 1% of their body weight in dry matter in 3 hours. So when we're trying on a more severe weight loss, we're aiming for 1.25% body weight dry matter. And if you turn them out to grass, they can eat almost all of that in 3 hours. And you cannot leave them for 21 hours without food. The other thing is that there is an excellent, you have to fit grazing muzzles properly, you have to use the right grass, you have to train a horse to use it. And Nuke has done a really wonderful brochure. And anybody who's giving any advice, I'd recommend that brochure. It is excellent. The other thing is, I personally don't like, in fact, I advise against using grazing muzzles for long periods of time. Well, we tried a study where animals were not obese, and we put them on for 10 hours a day, so they were left off overnight for the rest of the day. And in most of our animals, it maintained the rate of weight gain. But Star wasn't a star. This is the weight gain of Star with a grazing muzzle on for 10 hours a day. We decided not to take the grazing muzzle off. We had to bring her in, and she had to be restricted from grass and on a proper weight loss. So, big take-home message. Individuals, horses are not, and ponies are individuals you must monitor. We need to think, when we are restricting their forage intake, we need to think about ways of prolonging intake time. We need to think if they're prone to laminitis, or we're worried about it, you may need to choose preferably hay with a low NSC. But if you are going to soak it, you need to use warm water, not a problem here. In the UK it is a problem. But the difficulty is it's highly, highly variable. This is just showing 3 hays with similar to water-soluble carbohydrates. The majority lose the majority within 3 hours, and that 1 hay didn't lose much at all. And we cannot predict. The other big take-home message, if we're going to put on a weight loss restricted dry matter intake, soaking hay can lose up to 20% on average of dry matter. You have to allow for that, otherwise you are effectively overstarving these small horses. Another issue, there are some ponies and horses that just don't want to lose weight. They are weight loss resistant. And we are working currently to try and understand, can we predict which of these ones there are. Other big take-home message, when they lose weight and they're obese, you may not see a change in that body condition score immediately. And that's because they're often losing internal fat first, rather than external fat. So you must use other ways of monitoring. We recommend using belly girth and rump width, as well as your heart girth. Those are the 3 measures that are really useful for owners, and one of them will change, hopefully, because an owner will give up if nothing changes. So it's worth doing. And so that is an absolute gavel through obesity. But thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for the lovely presentation. So now we are opening the session for questions. Go ahead. You should come close to the microphone, please.
Thank you very much for that. We know in humans that with low heart rate exercise is what we need for fat burning. So if someone's trying to lose weight, going to the gym, working hard, or sprinting doesn't help. We also know from horses' exercise physiology, because they are a flight animal, they switch much quicker to burning glucose and burning fat. So my question is really, what level of exercise for a horse's fat burning? We know in humans it's just a long slow walk, but in a horse, is that sufficient?
Right. It's a very interesting question on multiple points, because when you do a weight loss program for horses, they will lose muscle as well as fat, and it's often relatively equal proportions they're losing. One of the things we suggest, if it's possible, is to increase the exercise, which helps, we hope, to preserve some of the protein. Now, how much exercise? We've got a study that's just under the review process, where we did a short period of walk and then a short period of trot and a short period of walk, and added it to a weight loss program. And actually it didn't make much difference on the weight loss, but it did significantly improve their tissue insulin resistance and their some markers of inflammatory status. So our suggestion is you really have to do a weight loss program to get them to lose weight. But if you can add in exercise, and actually any exercise may be better than none, but if you can add in that has at least 3 to 5 days, at least a week in trot, it may be beneficial. Excellent question.
How much, when you say short, how much do you mean for short?
I'm trying to remember exactly, but I think it was 10 minutes walk, 15 minutes trot, 10 minutes walk for 5 days a week. But the paper is, as I say, 7 minutes. Now, there are people who suggest you have to gallop for half an hour, 5 days a week. No analytic pony or factor in the areas of
Any other questions?
Hello, my name is Kath, I'm a vet in the UK, and one of the biggest problems I find trying to persuade owners to put the horse on a diet is the length of time between eating. How long can they go between eating that it's not a problem?
We've done a study where we took some Shetland ponies, and it's the only study where we've actually done that looked at gastric health. And under the study design we did, the horses had no changes in their gastric health. We provided a lot of environmental enrichment. We try and maximise the time. The other thing is you should use their natural ability that they normally produce less acid overnight. So your longer period of time is over the nighttime hours. We recommend during the day to try and avoid more than 4 to 5 hours without some forage intake. So you need to divide your forage during more the daylight hours. You need also to then use things like double hay nets, slow feeders. They make a little difference, but the owner feels at the end they're doing something to prolong. And try environmental enrichment. Often if they will do it, make sure they're in if you can, put them in a paddock where you can see the other horses, things like that. So yeah, use the natural body cycle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for